Hi guys, welcome to the latest podcast of YarninBlak. Today I've got a great friend of mine on, Lidia. I'll introduce you to her in a second, but first I just want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm calling you in from. I'm here on the beautiful lands of the Wurrung people. I'd like to pay a respect to their elders past, present, and for the young people coming through that are going to be our future warriors and leaders in the future. And I want to thank my beautiful guest Lidia. How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm fine. It's been a while to get you on, but I'm glad that you're here. But for all our viewers, I haven't even told them Lidia who yet, but tell us who you are, where you're from.
Thanks, brother. Well, you know, we've known each other for a very, very long time, and I'm really honoured that you've invited me on. So for those that don't know me, I'm Lidia Alma Thorpe, after my grandmother, and I'm a Gunnai, Gunditjmara and Djab Wurrung woman. My country is the southeast and western parts of what is now called Victoria, after a coloniser. And I'm also a federal senator in the federal parliament, senator for Victoria. So
yeah. Wow. Now, I don't know if people know this because it never gets covered in the media much, but it's like your mum, your grandmother and your great-grandmother were real political activists that actually did some really big things in Victoria that people don't actually realise, that your mum was like the co-commissioner of the Stolen Generations and your grandmother set up VARS and was part of the 10 Embassy. They're big black events that don't seem to get recorded when they talk about you.
Well, that would be too positive now, wouldn't it,
yes.
AJ? The media love to spin gammon yarns about me, which sell probably more papers than telling the truth. But I come from a very, very strong matriarchal line of incredible women who have always fought for our people, for our people's rights, for land back, and for the injustices to stop. So I had no choice being who I am. I come from that line. That's all I've seen. That's all I know. And I'll continue that legacy until the day I die. And, you know, I owe this position to the matriarchs in my family.
Now, you grew up in Fitzroy and Collingwood in the 70s. What was it like in the 70s, early 80s in Fitzroy?
Oh, did you have to tell people how old I am?
Well, they can Google search it now.
It was rough, but it was safe.
Yeah.
You know, like you had to kind of fight for your survival, but at the same time, particularly around the flats, the high-rise flats, there was a real sense of community and like Blackfellow way, you know, like everyone looked after one another. So that's my memory of, you know, hanging around the flats in Fitzroy and the Collingwood flats, lived in Collingwood flats and Carlton flats. But there was this real sense of community and everyone knew who you were and what family you come from, and everyone had the same struggle, which was being poor and being perpetrated against, if you like, because it was when the Greeks and Italians were arriving here and they copped a lot of racism. So, it was, we all just stuck together, you know. It was Vietnamese people when they were first arriving. It was just hanging out with the black and brown people around Fitzroy and Collingwood, which was a safe environment. It was a time where our people were rising up, and you know, we had Black Panther movement that we were connecting with at that time. Muhammad Ali came. I sat on his knee at the first Aboriginal Health Service in Gertrude Street because he wanted to see the black people in Fitzroy. And so all of those things, exciting times were happening.
Yeah.
And it was our uprising. It was a time to feel good and strong about being black. It was a revolutionary kind of time that I look back on, and that's why I felt so good being part of my community. It's certainly different to what we see today.
Yeah. Now, you went to primary school and in primary school, a bit of high school in Fitzroy area as well. How much Aboriginal issues were taught at school when you were at school? And if so, what was taught?
Well, I went to Gold Street Primary School, which is, I think they call it Clifton Hill Primary School now. Very privileged area these days. They were teaching me that Captain Cook discovered Australia.
Okay, yeah.
And I went home, I think it was grade 2 or grade 3, like absolutely horrified. And, Mum, Uncle Rob, this is what's going on. And Uncle Rob said to my mum, don't worry about it, I'll sort it out. I'll go up and do a talk to the school. and that happened, and there was, a little bit of change, but not much. There was a lot of racism. Sam Pang was at my school in those days, so he used to cop it for his appearance as well. But Fitzroy High and Collingwood High, Fitzroy High was quite racist. There was only 2 black kids at Fitzroy High in those days. Yeah, it's my cousin and I. Collingwood High was a bit better because it was more, multicultural, non-white people at that school. But I was only around for 3 years. I didn't even finish year 9 because I just couldn't. It just didn't fit with me. Not much at all. Wasn't important, and racism was rife.
Yeah. And at 17, you had your first kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then what did you do after the birth of your first kid? Were you starting to work or?
Well, I started work at 14 at the Koori Information Centre with Uncle Robbie through the pay the rent scheme. So some days I got paid and some days I didn't. And then I went to the Fitzroy Stars Aboriginal Community Youth Club Gymnasium, which was a preventative program set up under the Aboriginal Health Service under Nan's leadership.
And that was in Gertrude Street too, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it was in George Street, the first one.
Yeah.
And then it moved to Gertrude Street, which is still kind of George Street.
Right.
It's on the corner, George and Gertrude. I became the office manager there and saw world champion boxers coming in and out of the door to box in our gym. But it was set up as a health promotion program to get our people being physically active and getting kids off the street to punch the bag instead of punching each other. And it worked. It worked. And from there, it was basically when I was pregnant, I worked at YAPRA Children's Services right up until my son was born. I worked there. And then he was put straight into YAPRA.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I worked after that. I think I did another office manager role when he was a baby. Yeah. So, lots of little kind of projects whilst he was young, 6-month projects, 12-month projects. Did the diabetes project at the Aboriginal Health Service, the young people's project at the Aboriginal Health Service, researching some of the issues there. and then ended up getting a job at the health service, doing the funeral service.
Yeah.
Which was then under the Aboriginal Health Service, and I worked there for 7 years.
Yeah.
And my son was young.
Yeah, and I think that's where I first met you, when you're at the funeral service.
Oh yes, they used to call me Morticia.
Yes.
Because I had straight, long black hair.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you also were the manager down at, or a bit later on, the manager down at Lake Tyers Training Centre.
Yes.
For a while.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that long actually. It was under management of the TAFE system, East Gippsland TAFE.
Yeah.
And I didn't fit into the TAFE system very well, because I wanted my people to self-determine what they wanted to do when it come to their training centre, Lake Tyers Training Centre. I wanted the people to decide what goes on in that place, and I was soon told to fall into line and do what the East Gippsland TAFE wanted to happen at Lake Tyers. So that was probably the shortest job I've ever had.
Yeah.
As a result, because there were rules like, kids that weren't enrolled in a TAFE course couldn't use the computers at the training centre. So I broke those rules, and I opened the computer lab to all kids at Lake Tyers. And I got those kids to make the rules. I said, I'm not going to come in here and boss yous around.
Yeah.
So tell me what the rules are in this room. And they started yelling out the rules, and I wrote it up on the board, and they made the rules, so they stuck by the rules.
Yeah.
And there were no problems, but it wasn't, it was breaking the rules of the policy of the TAFE. So because
you didn't follow the rules.
Yeah, I kind of wanted, self-determination and the people to have the power to make decisions for themselves, and that's probably why I'm where I am today, because I still believe in that approach. It works.
Yeah. You did a diploma of community services at Swinburne?
Community development, I did that. That was it's still my position title. When I have to fill out a form, I always say I'm a community development worker, which is, I think, ultimately that's what I still am.
Yeah. And in 2021, you got the Swinburne University Social Impact Award.
I did.
You did?
I just got the trophy the other day.
Yes, I got mine as well the other day too from Swinburne.
That must have been last day.
Yeah, because I won it the year after you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations too.
I wish I had gone to the awards. I've never, won a big mainstream award like that.
And it's a pretty big one, because it was the George and Ethel Swinburne Social Impact Award. So George and Ethel Swinburne created Swinburne with the ultimate aim to make a social impact for people that couldn't afford to go to like Monash or Melbourne. And to be a finalist in it and then to win it is a huge achievement.
It is. You should call that the Battlers Award.
It is like the Battlers Award. I reckon it is. Yeah. And you also got the Emerging Leader Award at one stage as well. I'm not sure what year it was that you got that one. That was that.
I think it was 2008 or 6.
Yeah. And that was well, for people that don't know, that's where a lot of elders from across Victoria recognise the work that you do.
Yeah, and my project for that award was a cultural gathering at Lake Tyers, bringing people together. No agenda, just cultural business, and it was a really incredibly successful day, and we need to have more of those.
Yeah. So what made you decide to go into politics? Because it's not something I'd wake up in the morning and go, oh, I think I might become a politician.
No, I didn't wake up and say that
either. So what drove that?
I think just people encouraged me to do it. I thought it was totally out of reach, and it was the Greens that paid the rent and allowed the opportunity, and it was the Greens members who decided that they wanted me for the seat of Northcote, firstly, and when I won Northcote in a by-election, I then went for the Senate vacancy that was left by Richard Di Natale, who was the then Greens leader. And again, the Greens throughout the whole state of Victoria decided that they wanted me to be their next senator. So, you know, thanks to the Greens for giving me that opportunity, but also it's paying the rent and giving it to a black person, because a black person's never had a seat with the Greens. So it was overdue. But I give credit where it's due, and it was because of some really good people within the Greens that encouraged me to run and supported me to run, and said that, you know, you can do this. This is totally a space that you'll be able to operate in, and then I was reminded that, you know, you don't have to conform to the system. You can be yourself. And as soon as that was said to me, I was like, yeah, all right, you want to see me. You want to see what my family are about and my people are about. Well, here it is, and here I go. And the rest is history.
So what was it like walking into Parliament that first time when you actually, because you had the talking stick with you and the markings, the message stick and the markings on it, and you walked in there and you raised your arm up, and because I know at home we were just so proud of you being in there doing that. But what was it like being actually in the chamber? Do you call it a chamber?
Yeah, it's a chamber. It was I had my ancestors there, you know, and I had the pain of all of the families of those loved ones that were marked on that message stick. At that time was 441. Like, that message stick really means a lot to me, because just each line of the ones that we know about who've been murdered or died at the hands of the system, or the police, or a prison guard. I was thinking more about that than me being all big shot and deadly, big senator. It was more about what I was there to represent and what I was there to fight for. Yeah.
Quick, I know this is I know the answer to this question, but how culturally safe is Parliament?
No such thing. Absolutely no such thing. It's the most racist, violent colony experience that one black person can have. And there are family and mob that have come to see me and said that they feel the same way. They feel unsafe. I've had young mob say that they, white politicians eye rolled them down the halls of Parliament. And just being in the chamber is quite violent. And you got to put your cape on, your bulletproof vest, and prepare yourself to go in. and put up with it or call it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I put up with it. Sometimes I just let some things go because I have the mindset of you're not going to ruin my day. I've got to do a speech on so if I go for that person being racist, then the president, who always says Senator Thorpe, will shut me down and stop me from doing a speech. So you've got to pick your timing, pick your fight.
Yeah. So how do you manage that? What do you do for release, self-care?
I go to country as much as I can. I go for walks around Parliament House. There's some bush areas there, just to get out of that space. I spend as much time as I can with my family and the ones that support me, have good people around me. I like massage. So I make sure that I treat myself and not feel guilty. I used to feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
But I have to do it. I have to maintain my health and well-being because it can eat you alive.
Yeah. And the other thing you're well known for is your ability to go shopping and picking up the most amazing outfits for not much money, but you look fabulous in some of those outfits that you display.
Honestly, I went to a couple of op shops yesterday in South Yarra.
Oh, wow.
And I got brand new bathers, brand new sea folly bathers for $10.
Oh, wow.
And I got like 3 or 4 dresses. A couple of them are designers. And I can't wait to show them off. I can't wait. So when I buy them, like I get so excited. I go home and I'm like, Dot, oh my God, I got all these deadly brand new dresses. Oh, you got to see them. She's like, what do you mean brand new, Mum? You've been to the op shop. I'm like, well, they're brand new to me.
Yeah.
Like they're new. I brought them new to me. And I do a big fashion parade, put each one on. She's like, actually, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really stoked about.
Yeah.
I just think, there's more clothes than people in the world, and we've got to stop purchasing unnecessarily. And what you can find at the op shop is totally fine, and they look good, and you can use them to go to work every day. You don't need to spend a fortune, and we've got to use what we've already got.
Yeah. Another question I've got is you do cop a lot of shit and flack in the media. How do you manage that?
You reckon?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I was actually overseas when the time when it was, I was overseas at the time, the end of last year, and all of a sudden the news came on. It was about an Aboriginal senator in Australia wanting to burn down Parliament House. And I went, oh my God, what's Lidia said now? And right, and I hadn't even known anything about it just yet, but that was what we heard when I was in Argentina. So the news reached Argentina about an Aboriginal senator that was wanting to burn down Parliament House.
Well, I didn't say I wanted to burn down Parliament House, and you saw the media just pick that up and run with it. I still have a live investigation going on with the AFP. Because of the amount of people that wanted me investigated for a figure of speech. It's all right for Jimmy Barnes to say it in his songs and all these other artists that they're going to burn things down or burn things up. But when the little black girl says it, it's a pile on. And I'm actually used to it. Sadly, I'm used to it. And it's usually the right-wing media. Sometimes the ABC will, chime in, but they seem to be a little bit fairer. They give me an opportunity to respond. So, I think I shake the colonies'
You do.
pages and ruffle their feathers in a way that they've not been ruffled before, and that makes people feel uncomfortable, and people will go to all kinds of lengths to try and shut me down and make out I'm a bad person.
Yeah. And Lydia and shutdown don't actually go in the one sentence, really, do they?
No, they don't. They don't. I don't know any Thorpe that's going to be shut down, to be honest. It's very, family dinners and family gatherings of the Thorpes, it's hard to get a word in. And we're all pretty much fiery, and in a good way, though, in a way that we need to be heard to get justice. We're not going to sit silent and allow this genocide to continue on our people.
Yeah. Now, if I had a magic wand and $1 zillion to give you and said, fix something in Aboriginal affairs, what would you start? Where would you start? What would you want to do?
$1 zillion.
$1 zillion.
Well, because there's not many of us left anymore. What are we? 3 or 4%. So that works out to be, what are they saying, like 1 million people, just over 1 million people?
Yeah.
Well, 1 million people getting $1 million each. What's that? 1 million times 1 million.
That's my zillion.
That's less than a gazillion.
Yeah.
Gazillion. Give every black person $1 million as part of compensation or whatever we want to call it, so that we can self-determine for ourselves what we want to do with our lives, given what they've ripped out of our land, how they've destroyed our people, taken our kids. I think that is the least that they could do, and if I had the power, that's what I would do, and say, right, you fellas, you'll have all essential services, no problem. You won't have to beg for housing or employment or clean water, basic necessities that everyone else in this country gets. That's going to be a given. You're going to get good hospital care, good health care, good education. It's all not going to be racist anymore, and you'll be safe in the services going forward. And here's $1 million for all the dispossession and violence that has occurred on your land. And thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, I like that. I think my wand's going to be worn out by the end of the day, but I like that. I've got 2 questions left, and the second last one is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Hopefully alive.
Because you'll only be 40 by then.
Yeah. Emerging elder. Look out. Look, I think that I'll be 5 years. So this term finishes in 2 years. I will be running again, but I need 500,000 votes. So it's unlikely. But if I were to win, I would hand it to somebody. I wouldn't do the full 6-year term. If I lose, then I will be me. I will be an activist. I will continue to protect country, water, my people. I'll work with my people. And I'll look after my grandkids and do all of those things, but I won't stop fighting for the rights of my people. I will just keep doing what I've always been doing. And I'll do that to the day I die.
Yeah. My last question is, what would you like people to walk away with from our yarn this afternoon?
I suppose that don't always believe what you're reading in the newspapers. That I wear my heart on my sleeve, that I'm a mum, a grandmum, a sister, an auntie, a cousin, I'm a partner, and I always have my people at the forefront of my mind in terms of what I do, whether it be voluntarily, whether it be paid, no matter where I am, who I'm with, I'll always stand up for my people. And I like a good yarn. I'm not a scary person. I'm just me. And I hope that people see that, rather than seeing this angry black woman. Listen to what I say. Yeah. Not how I say it. Don't tone police me. It's me. It's just how I speak. And even when I speak to friends from primary school, they're like, "You've always been like this." Like, why do people get so upset? Like, they don't know me. So
now, before we went on, I was just telling you about one of the questions I had, and I forgot to ask it, but I'll ask it now. I yarned with a couple of people saying I can't wait to talk to my friend Lidia, and they said, can you ask her, when people get suspended from Parliament, what does that actually mean, and what's that entail?
Well, I know I had an answer for you, but I'm going to change it slightly. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've ever been suspended from school, but I have.
I have.
Having punch-ups with racists.
Yeah.
But when you get suspended from school, what do? You get to stay home and eat what you want, hang out. Well, getting suspended from the Senate, I got paid, which I don't think you should get paid. If you're going to be suspended, your pay should be suspended for that day, but mine wasn't, so whatevs. But it was the last day of Parliament, and I get suspended. And it's the day that I had organised a genocide rally outside of Parliament. So I had mob coming from everywhere. My mum was there, and it was scheduled in my diary to have 1 hour at the rally because I had to be in the Parliament. Well, I get suspended. I get to go to the rally and hang out with biggest mob all day. Took my shoes off, walked on the grass, sat with activists around the country, and did a genocide protest. And we got media at the genocide protest on the day I'm suspended. So what a great day to be suspended. Yeah. For telling the king off. Well, I don't know. I can't remember no, that wasn't the king. That was Pauline. But yeah, I got suspended for having a go at Pauline Hanson. Right.
Yeah. No more comments. Nothing else. Look, I want to say thank you for hanging with me. You know how much I love you, and you know how much I love your mum as well. Anytime I'm down there, I catch up with your mum. Yeah. Thanks for just coming on, and guys, thanks to Lidia, and I'll see you guys at the next podcast. So see you later.
Deadly. Thank you.